In the magnificent kingdom of Auroria, nestled between shimmering rivers and sun-kissed mountains, ruled a wise and just king, Alaric. He was blessed with a prosperous realm and two sons, born on the very same day, but as different as the sun and the moon. The first son was Prince Orion, whose mother, Queen Lyra, was known for her kindness and gentle heart. Orion inherited his mother's compassion and his father's wisdom. He spent his days among the people, learning their crafts, listening to their troubles, and sharing in their joys. His laughter was a common, welcome sound in the castle courtyards and the village markets. The second son was Prince Kale, born to Queen Morgana, a woman of sharp intellect and even sharper ambition. Kale was raised in the shadow of his mother's desire for power. He saw the kingdom not as a community to be nurtured, but as a prize to be won. He was skilled with the sword and clever with words, but his heart was cold, and his eyes held a glint of envy whenever he looked at his brother. King Alaric, growing old, knew the time was near to name his successor. He saw the goodness in Orion and the fire in Kale. He hoped that time would temper Kale's ambition, but Queen Morgana had other plans. She whispered poisonous words into her son's ear, day after day. "The throne is your destiny, Kale," she would say. "Orion is weak. He talks to farmers and bakers. A king must rule with an iron fist, not a gentle hand. You are the true heir." The seeds of greed took root in Kale's heart, growing into a dark and twisted tree. He and his mother devised a wicked plot. One moonless night, while the kingdom slept, they framed Prince Orion. They hired a rogue to steal the royal scepter, the symbol of Auroria's power, and plant it in Arian's chambers. The next morning, the castle was in chaos. The scepter was missing. A frantic search began. Queen Morgana, feigning distress, suggested they search the prince's chambers. To everyone's shock, the scepter was found hidden beneath Arian's bed. King Alaric was heartbroken. He couldn't believe his gentle son was capable of such a betrayal. Orion pleaded his innocence, his eyes filled with tears of confusion and hurt. "Father, I would never. This is a trick," he cried. But Kale stepped forward, his face a mask of false sadness. "Brother, how could you? Do you crave the crown so much that you would stoop to theft?" He accused Queen Morgana, seizing the moment, declared treason. He tried to seize power before his time. The law is clear. He must be banished. With a heavy heart and clouded by the cunning deception, King Alaric had no choice but to follow the ancient law. Prince Orion, the rightful heir, was stripped of his title and exiled from the kingdom of Auroria, cast out into the harsh, unknown wilderness beyond the mountains. As Orion journeyed into exile, his heart was heavy with sorrow, but not with despair. He had his father's strength and his mother's spirit. He traveled through dense forests and across barren plains. He met people from all walks of life, humble farmers, wise old hermits, and brave mountain folk. He shared his meager food with them, helped them build their homes, and defended them from wild beasts. He didn't tell them he was a prince. He was just Orion, a friend. Word of his good deeds traveled faster than the wind. People were drawn to his courage, his fairness, and his unwavering kindness. He gathered a loyal band of followers, not an army of soldiers, but a family of friends who believed in justice. Among them was a wise old owl named Hoot, who could see truths hidden from human eyes, and a giant but gentle bear named Barnaby, who had a heart as big as his paws. Back in Auroria, things had changed. With Orion gone, Kale was declared the heir. He and Queen Morgana began to rule in the aging king's name. But their rule was one of fear and greed. They raised taxes until the people starved. They seized land for their own lavish parties. They silenced anyone who dared to speak of Prince Orion. The kingdom's vibrant colors faded to gray. The people's laughter was replaced by whispers of discontent. King Alaric, seeing the misery in his kingdom and the coldness in Kale's eyes, finally realized the terrible mistake he had made. He grew ill with grief and regret. One day, Arian's loyal owl, Hoot, flew back to the castle and overheard Queen Morgana and Kale boasting about their clever plot. Hoot sped back to Orion with the news the time had come. Orion knew he couldn't leave his people to suffer. He had to reclaim his birthright, not for the crown, but for the kingdom. With his band of loyal friends and the support of the mountain clans who respected his honor, Orion marched towards Auroria. They carried not banners of war, but symbols of hope. As they approached the city, the gates were thrown open. The royal guards, tired of Cal's tyranny, laid down their swords. The people flooded the streets, cheering Arian's name, their spirits reignited. Orion marched straight into the throne room. There sat Kale on the grand throne, with Queen Morgana by his side. King Alaric lay weakly in a nearby chamber, his spirit broken. Brother, Orion said, his voice ringing with authority and justice. Your reign of greed is over. Kale, enraged, drew his sword. You were banished. This throne is mine, he roared. A throne is not won by lies and cruelty, Orion replied calmly. It is earned through love and service to the people. You have served only yourself. A duel began. Kale fought with fury and rage, his strikes wild and desperate. Orion, however, fought with precision and purpose, his movements graceful and controlled. He wasn't fighting to harm his brother, but to disarm his greed. With a final, swift move, Orion sent Cal's sword clattering across the marble floor. Defeated and humiliated, Kale fell to his knees. Queen Morgana, seeing her plans crumble to dust, shrieked in anger. At that moment, the old king, rallied by the cheers of his people, entered the throne room, leaning on his guards. The truth is clear to me now, King Alaric declared, his voice weak but firm. My son Orion is innocent. It is you, Kale, and you, Morgana, who are the traitors. Your greed has poisoned this kingdom and nearly destroyed our family. He turned to Orion, my son. I failed you. Can you forgive me? Orion embraced his father. There is nothing to forgive. Now we must heal our kingdom. Kale and Queen Morgana were stripped of their royal titles. But Orion, in his wisdom, did not banish them. Instead, he sentenced them to work in the fields alongside the very people they had oppressed. He wanted them to learn the value of honest work and the meaning of community. He hoped that one day they might understand the true price of their greed. Prince Orion was crowned King Orion. He ruled with the same kindness and justice he had shown in exile. He lowered taxes, restored the people's lands, and filled the castle with laughter once more. The kingdom of Auroria blossomed again, more beautiful and prosperous than ever before. It became a realm known not for its gold or its power, but for its good and noble king, who understood that true wealth lies not in what you have, but in what you give. And so, the story of King Orion became a legend, a timeless reminder that greed leads only to ruin, while a heart full of courage and compassion can build a kingdom that lasts forever. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of courage and wisdom. See you next time.